trailer for a film called Monkey Man. Why does that look like the best film of the year?
Looks phenomenal. And I only recently found out, because I've watched this trailer about 58 times since like last Thursday or whatever. The guy starring in it is the kid from Slumdog Millionaire, who's also directed it. I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Wasn't he? Didn't he make like the Green King or something like that? There's like there's a big to do. I'm not sure if it's the same dude. I'll just double check to see if it is. But it's Dev Patel, isn't it?
Dev Patel, yeah.
The Green Knight. That's what I'm thinking.
That film sounds familiar. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No, neither have I. But I remember when it came out that there was a big hoo-ha about it. They're just like, oh my god, this film's fucking great. This guy's amazing. But I think that was another one that he was in, and maybe I could be lying there, but I think he made it or produced it or something like that as well.
No, directed by David Lowery. The Green Knight, that is.
Yeah, I might be thinking of something else then. But directing Monkey Man. Is it Monkey Man? Or am I just being an idiot? Yeah. Produced or executive produced by Jordan Peele, which is, I mean, that guy knows how to make good movies.
Again, based on the trailer, they seem to be a match made in heaven.
Kind of. Like, I just think that this is going to be like a new John Wick. In that sort of like, it's proper brutal violence, but it's a guy get the shit kicked out of him. Do you 24/7?
Do you think? I mean, again, we've only seen like a 3.5 minute trailer. That's all we've seen for it. Judging the trailer just on its own merit, do you think this can spawn a franchise, or at least a trilogy or something, or is it going to be a one-off?
I have a feeling that it's been made as a one-off. But if the sort of the John Wick crowd, maybe if they're going, oh, well, these John Wicks, they're, started incredibly strong. And as with anything, it's diminishing returns. There's only so many times that you can shoot someone in the head and have people go, fuck me, this is incredible. This, though, it seems like it's way more like close quarters. It's people up in people's faces and just like beating, like, just like, it's almost like it's like an old school kung fu movie, like a Jackie Chan kind of movie where there's like it's just using the environment and like stabbing people. It feels like Hotline Miami the movie. It's just a guy just busting through, just smashing people's faces in, and then like stabbing guys in the eye. Like there's a lot about it that seems just sort of like it feels like there'd be a lot of moments which I kind of love in like these kind of like high octane action movies where someone will do a thing and they'll like. They'll do a move and they'll do a move and then they'll break their hand like right in front of the camera or whatever, and I'll go, oh, because I didn't expect that to happen or be quite so visceral or whatever. I feel like that's the sort of movie where there's going to be a bunch of that.
Well, that was you took the words out of my mouth. Like this seems as hardcore as some of the scenes are in John Wick. This seems far more visceral in terms of the damage that's done to a person when they get the head crushed into an ashtray, or they get a microwave door opened, like slammed on the head and stuff like that. And I think it helps the fact that he's not John Wick, and he does get hurt, and he can't jump through a plane of gas, a pane of glass,
a bulletproof suit.
Yeah,
I mean, but like John Wick's kind of like a hyper realistic like action film anyway. It's like, well, no one can really fight like that. No one can kill 50 guys in a room. Like with just 6 bullets and a
pencil.
Pen. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, that can't really happen. But it feels like, oh, this guy, if someone else has a go at him as well, he's fucked. Like, I love the bit where he's like, presumably he's just been kicking the shit out of a bunch of people. He's covered in blood. He's probably had the shit kicked out of him. And he runs down the hallway and he goes to throw himself through a window, just bounces off it.
And stands up.
And then he gets up and he's like, fucking hell. And I was like, oh, that's so good.
But that kind of stuff, like, I know this is going to lead more into the Bollywood style movies than probably Jackie Chan, but it's those moments where we've talked about it before. I don't think we've talked about it on a podcast, but we've definitely talked about it, where there's parts of Jackie Chan films that I really like that make it feel realistic. And it's stuff like that where Jackie Chan, he has just like launched a guy through like a fence or something, and then he's turned one of the slats into a seesaw and he's fighting someone, but then he'll get hit on the head, and he's just like, oh, and that's what this reminds me of, like that kind of.
But without the comedy, because
it's still funny because like that he's obviously going to escape, but he's fell.
I don't think that's like a slapstick sort of like bong.
No,
he's going to get going. Whoa.
I think it's just like again, same as there's elements in John Wick that's just like there for like a quick chuckle, like not pause the film because you're pissing your pants laughing, you don't want to miss anything. It's just like and then you move on. But I like that. But I this is going to be very much, I think anyway, you've really over the top Bollywood action films that.
I hope so. Like
I do hope so. Yeah.
Like the kind of the color palette that's in it already. It's like it's very dark and dingy, and then it's like incredibly vivid, like oranges and blues, and as long as there's not a fucking song in there.
I mean, there might be. But there's that shot when I think he's coming out of an elevator, and all the lights are just red, and it's like he's almost silhouetted out and stuff like that. It
feels like
shot.
It feels like a very modern like graphic novel.
Yes, that's
like feels like it's based on something like that, like artistic wise anyway. So I'm really looking forward to that. Like a couple of the other films that we talked about, they're great, and I definitely want to see them. That's the one that I'm like, I have to see this. Yeah. Like maybe I want to see another trailer. Kind of, yeah. But it could be like one of those sort of like low key things, like Upgrade was. Like that was. Yeah. It had a very specific style in mind, and it was a very specific vision, and it wasn't a huge thing. It was, it was very condensed. It was a very small kind of story, but it was very heavily stylized, and that's what really interested me about it, and that's what sold me.
Except the end. I didn't like the end. No spoilers, but
no, it's I disagree because I think it sets itself up for potentially a sequel. Whereas I think that something like this, potentially from what I've seen, or what it feels like to me is that they've written this as a one and done, and then it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, this is the new John Wick. I know it will be like, the Indian John Wick. That's what it will be.
Effectively, yeah.
And that's a bit reductive, but whatever. But then I'll be like, then I think it'd be like, fucking hell, we can make a fortune off these. Let's crank another couple out.
Well, I'm sure there was a thing that I've read.
What if there's a Monkey Man John Wick crossover?
Who would win? Monkey Man or John Wick?
No, not fight. No, it'd be a Godzilla versus King Kong. They both have a fight. One wins one wins the other, and then they've got to take out a room of 100 dudes.
It's Mecha Monkey Wick.
What, they got to Megazord it up?
Yeah, they do it together.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like one on top of the other's shoulders in a giant bulletproof
just a trench coat. Yeah. The thing is, though, and again, this is just basing it completely off a trailer. It feels like that I can't remember the species of the monkey, but the white monkey is seen as like, this is like Batman kind of thing, where it's kind of maybe like folklore or like Robin Hood, that kind of.
It's like a Zorro.
Yeah, like helping the poor or whatnot. So even if like Dev Patel's character dies in this, someone else could pick up the Monkey Man mantle, and they could just continue to make it depending on how successful it is, or we've misconstrued that completely, and that's not. it's not a thing at all. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe this is like the birth of the biggest warlord in whatever city this is supposed to be set in, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Monkey Man, go!" And it's like, "And I'm taking over your businesses."
Yeah. He was the bad guy all along. I mean, that could be the thing. We don't know.
But yeah, that looks sick, and I genuinely can't wait for that. I've been recommending that trailer to a few people.
April the 5th this year. Not too far.